Hello, and welcome to Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine. Our musical selection for today is Cry Me a River. Now you say you're lonely and you cry the whole night through. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. Now you say you're sorry for being so untrue. Well, you can cry me a river, cry me a river. I cried a river over you. You drove me, nearly drove me out of my head. Oh, you never shed a tear. Remember, I remember all that you said. Told me love was too bloody and told me you were through with me. And now you say you love me. Well, just to prove you do, come on and cry me a river, cry me a river, 'cause I cried a river over you. Jesus Jazz and Dessert. All right. No crying anymore.
Okay, I have a confession to make. First of all, you look beautiful,
Thank you.
and I finally feel like I look real cute too. And so I stepped away from the controls, and I was like, okay, Lynette is still singing, and I forgot there's like a 30-second like hold or whatever. And then you were talking, but you were doing it, Minister Flavor and Musical Vibes. That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sis. Woohoo! Fam, what's good with you? I am Alexis Roan, aka Alexis Grace, founder of Truth Me Story LLC, expanding empathy one story at a time, and host of Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine at Vespers, a faith and adult storytelling series. By faith, I mean we explore the ways in which God shows up or is perceived absent. And we explore this mystery as story in the form of storytelling, and specifically adult storytelling. Now, by adult storytelling, I mean adults that are told by adults, for adults, to adults with a developed adult context. And no apologies are ever issued for how we show up in this space. 7-year-olds have a story time, and now so do adults. You're welcome. So I'm sitting here and I'm only 2 hours old in terms of recognizing that for all of the ways that I like set up the background, and I'm like, where am I supposed to look? What do I do? There is literally a green light that says, look here, like look at the light. So I've been taking pictures of me looking at the light and trying to make sure that I was getting it in. It is all working out bigger and better than we know. We just got to trust the process and we got to stay with it. I have been excited this week because a lot of good stuff has happened. I have relationships, intimate relationships with people who a lot of times try to make excuses for history. They're like, oh, because this thing has always happened in quote history, this is how it will always be. And I have a different mindset. I say that history is prophecy. History gives us a way to see what's about to happen if you continue in that bullshit. History is a way of saying there is an honorable way to live, to show up, to be there for each other. And there are consequences, and there is laughter for the haughty when they fall. And there is grace for those who have such humility, and they continue to, like, if something happens, it's like, oh, like we have grace for them. The universe is already, like, history has already given us a sense of how the universe operates. And all we have to do is to decide, does this work in our context, or do we get to rewrite the rules and make some things, different? When 45 was elected to the White House, I tell you, I was all kinds of twisted. And I was concerned because I actually knew people who either didn't vote or who didn't vote for Hillary. And I was confused. I was like, how can you not understand that we need to be united and not giving that motherfucker like the nuclear codes? Like, he's been raggedy for a minute. I remember when he was, I think it was on People or National Enquirer, or one of the gossip tabloids, and they were at a ski slope. It was 45, his first wife, and his side chick, Marla. They are all at a ski slope, and they are all at the top of the slope. And the first wife confronts Marla, and she was like, "Bitch, you better leave my husband alone." And Marla's like, "I love him." And what does 45 do? His punk ass like races down the slopes. And then the first wife, who was like I think she was like a professional skier model, before she married him or something, she caught up to his ass. And then Marla, ends up following them all down. So the shit was messy, and it was captured. It, like, they got you on tape, fam. Raggedy. Don't let that motherfucker get the nuclear codes is all I'm thinking. And then when we find out that, his wife is just had a baby, and, he's having, unprotected sex with a porn star, who then writes a, expose and says, describes his penis, and she's talking about whooping his ass with that magazine. I'm like, dude, you should have just put 2 more zeros on that check, because now that's all. Like, I don't even know what to say to my peeps who could not say anybody but this clown. Well, 4 years of his, like, just really acting a fool, and the angst that people had just on a regular basis, and culminating even, through January 6th, when he's no longer, we voted this time, everybody got the vote right. And so, old boy is on his way out, but he's got to continue to create chaos. He just thrives in chaos. And so everyone is still saying, but what about this? But what about this? But what about this? And I would get so annoyed, because I'm reading history and I'm saying, did y'all see what the Bible said about Nebuchadnezzar? Like, he was acting a fool too. And then he was out there in the wood, like in the wilderness, like, his hair's all, disheveled. He out there grazing like a cow. And he was a king. Now, by the grace of God, his mental faculties was restored, and he was a very different leader after that. After he saw what real power looked like, brother pulled it together. God handles the haughty. And this week has been a ton of, the universe, like, playing catch up on handling up on all of these different things. And I got to tell you, it has been beautiful to see, but it has also been nerve-wracking, because all I have wanted is to be in fellowship with people who could see in advance that everything is going to be all right eventually, and who could reference history, and who can reference just all of the ways in which we are not pioneers in this journey called life. I just wanted to have folks that I could have that level of conversation with. And that has not happened often enough for me. I'll say it like that. That does happen periodically, but not often enough for me. But this week, For all of the ones who are like, but what about this? But what about this? I'm like, shit. The universe has been setting some things right. I'm looking at my Twitter feed. I'm looking at, all of the headlines. I'm looking at what happened with Giuliani and the way he's coming out and the way he says, look, I got insurance. And the way Trump comes out and says Giuliani is a patriot. Everybody was thinking he was going to come out, with one of them, stupid ass schoolyard, tropes that he's known for. But he didn't. Old boy said Giuliani was a patriot. And I thought, oh, shit. That means Giuliani really got some insurance. And so what I need to do is get some popcorn because this is going to be a good show. And it don't have to be. All you got to do is act right. Just do the right thing. Love people well. Do the honorable thing. And so I am grateful for everyone who is gathered in the virtual pews for Jesus, Jazz, and Dessert Wine at Vespers. I know that you show up every week because you are like, look, we see that everything is crazy and we are in need of somebody who can, or some content that can give us hope, that can speak to where we are, that can reassure us that everything really is going to be all right eventually, and also, entertain us with some flavor. So that's what this space is. This space is the grown folk having grown folk conversation and saying sooner or later, everybody bill come due. And this week was a lot of them bills coming due. So stay tuned. And like I told my crazy aunt, I was like, look, get you some popcorn. But I told her that my special mix is cheddar caramel. It's like I want that sweet savory kind of mix. But I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna watch how history is telling us everything that we need to know in order to serve the common good. So let's just go ahead and lean into that. But I also I've been anxious slightly. And a part of that is because although I believe that everything is working out bigger and better than we know, and I love when the headline news confirm that, the headline news is not so much about infusing hope or even engaging our memory. Headline news loves to make us think that everything is new and scary and we ain't got no hope. And, unless we buy the product that's sponsoring their program, they selling them damn solutions. So they've got to also make us feel fearful. So we will, then tune in and want to purchase the solution that they're positing. But it's been very difficult to see where everything is lining up. People who have been acting a fool, they're getting their comeuppance. And then I saw that the new thing is to come against, it's an academic term, critical race theory. Now, a few weeks ago, when we were doing the public lament, casting the prophetic hope for Dr. Shaniqua Walker Barnes, because of her prayer, the power of a weary Black woman, one of the things that our cousins were coming at her about was this whole concept of, quote, critical race theory. Apparently, to have the discussion about race and to have it pedagogically is bad, is what they're saying. And so they come against it and they just want us to just kind of like not engage race at all. Meanwhile, they are saying that this particular precinct has faulty voting practices because of the demographics, i.e. race of that particular group. And so they're coming at us, but what they're really trying to do is to hang on to power. But this week, a ton of stuff has happened that says, you know what? We can show you better than we can tell you. I am excited and I am annoyed, but I am trying to hang on to the excitement. I'm trying to hang on to the hope. I'm trying to hang on to all of the ways in which history has always said, hey, look, here's what the winner looks like. Here's what the winning team does. Here is where you ain't gonna have no problems in the long run. It might come up short in the interim to be nice, to be generous, to be thoughtful, to be faithful. But I love one of my favorite Psalms. It says, The works of God's hands are faithfulness and justice. Baby, we need to be sure that we have cast our lots and anchored our hopes to faithfulness and justice. That is the winning team. That is what goes on and on and on and on and on forever and ever. So let's cast our lots in the right place. And so I declare that it has been a very difficult week for me, but I think it's been because my sources, the sources of information, have I have given them too much access to my emotions, and so I think I'm gonna shut them off next week and be about some other important things. The other thing that happened that was really cool, I just received a text message from a pastor friend who is doing a series on women, the powerful women who show up as witnesses for who God is. And so basically it's a Bible study for it's a Bible study profiling women featured in scripture. Now, I love that. And I thought it was interesting that all of these years, now we're doing a series on this. And I think it is because women before would be so insistent on like, oh, okay, well, whatever the pastor wants to give us, like, we'll just kind of go with that. And more often than not, they were not giving us women. It's some bad sisters in the scripture. And they were not either nuanced or interested, or maybe they didn't feel like it was going to move the needle. Whatever was the situation, I do know that I went way too many years before I knew anything about the wise woman from Tekoa. I went way too many years before I realized that Hagar was Abraham's second wife and not just a handmaid. And she didn't get pulled into that marriage. She just wanted to serve them. But she gets pulled into this other way. There are womanist theologians who broke it down like a fraction for me. It was not the brothers. But the fact that there are men who are now leaning in and creating whole series, preaching whole series about women in scripture says that they watching us. They watching us. They watching us. So keep showing up, keep showing out, and let's let everybody know that, we are here. And we are here for the common good. Now, I'm encouraged. I'm so encouraged right now. But I would have to tell you, but the truth is that my encouragement a lot of time will never, or rarely, let me say rarely will it come from headline news. My encouragement literally comes from remembering the stories, remembering the things that I have more than conquered and that I have overcome. And listening to the stories of others, what they have more than conquered and what they have overcome. And it's even better for me when they have a little flavor and they put that flavor on them stories. I'm like, yes, talk to me. Everything is good. It is all working out and our stories confirm it. Now, one of the memories that I have never shared with anyone, and I don't know why, because every time it would just kind of randomly pop in my brain, I would crack up laughing because I can't believe I did it first. And I can't believe I did it in this particular space in my life where I was. It was 1993. I was 23 years old, and was married to my first husband. Now, for those of you who subscribe to my YouTube channel and you actually go through and play them videos, you will know this particular husband is the one who I talk about in the story, The Worst Decision of My Life. When I married him and I got into that, I was like, oh, Lord, my life is ruined. I was convinced I had mucked up everything and there was no way that I would ever be able to stand before you right now, proud, free, and beautiful. I'm telling y'all, I'm having a cute day. I could not have believed that with the way that I messed up, that I could stand here and everything could be as good as it is, like and as amazing as it is. All that to say, it was a bad decision. But 1993, I'm 1 year out of college. I'm in this marriage. And he is traveling that weekend. He's going back home to visit his baby boy in Houston. And he and I are at the hair salon. I'm sorry. Yeah, he and I are at the hair salon. And the hairstylist, her name was Roxy. She had a ton of flavor, was Corpus Christi, Texas. Not a lot of Black people and, not a lot of Black people with flavor. But Roxy was all of that and then some. And I was, I had flavor, but the bulk of my activity was really found in the local church that I attended. Very, very sweet community that I still love to this day. And for the church thing, but I happened to be in the hair salon, full of flavor, getting my hair done. And there is a fashion show that's about to happen. And the designer is traveling in from New York. And Roxy is going to not only be in the show, but she's also going to be the stylist, the hairstylist for the models. And so she looks at me with all of my flavor and she says, Lex, I want you to be in this show. I think you should be in this show. And I'm like, a model? Really? Me? Oh my God. And then she says, yes. And the designer is coming from New York and she is amazing. You're going to love her. I was like, oh, sweet. Like, so what kind of what's her brand? And she says, oh, she designs lingerie. Oh, okay. What else she designs? And that's it. She designs lingerie. And I was like, well, what kind of fashion show is it? She says, it's a lingerie fashion show. So the husband is there and I look at him and I was like, what you think? He was like, you gonna model lingerie? Like you gonna do this? I was like, yeah, I think I am. He's gonna be out of town that weekend. And I'm like, yo, like, there will be no evidence other than the hundreds of people who are at the show. And I don't know if I was like praying, oh God, please don't let none of my church members be in there. I did for sure not invite nobody. I ain't tell nobody, but like if they happen to show up and like I'm on the, runway or whatever, and whatever's my lingerie, then so be it. So the week of the show comes, the designer comes down, we have our practice run. And I'm, sitting, it was I think it was in a nightclub, like one of these like high-end nightclubs. And I'm sitting on a bar stool, and people are coming, in and out, like some of the models or whatever. Well, one of them began to, we just struck up a conversation. And I remember thinking a lot about my life at that point and how I wanted, how I wish I had made bolder decisions. That's what it is. I wanted to make bolder decisions than what I had done. One of those decisions that I wish I had made was that I could have been a dancer. I used to love to dance. I was really good at it, but I was, yeah. If people don't like if they feel like you move too spirited and, and they speak to that, then I kind of, I shrunk and I was like, oh, okay, well then I guess I won't do that. And so I just got in my books and got an education, got my degree. And now I'm working for this insurance company and living in Corpus Christi and about to be in this lingerie fashion show. And I'm talking to a woman. And when, I ask her, cause I'm like, all corporate, oh, well, what do you do? And she says, oh, I'm a dancer. I was like, oh, I am so jealous. I am so jealous. And then I said, well, what kind of dance you do? Modern? Ballet? And she was like, shake them titties, shake, shake, shake them titties. And I was like, oh, Lord, what am I doing? I couldn't figure out why that woman couldn't give me a better definition for the kind of dance that she did. But she was like, shake them titties. Like she had, she was really, heavy, chested or whatever. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. Night of the show. I am in the dressing room and I think I had two pieces that I was modeling. And so the first one was kind of like a silky robe or whatever. And I'm not showy. Even now, I'm not a person who like, knows how to move and do that kind of stuff. I'm like, I'm Pippi Longstocking, damn it. So I'm not awkward. I got flavors. Like, look, I just kind of move the way I want to move when I want to move. But I'm not, a person who says like, look at me. But in a fashion show, particularly a lingerie fashion show where you're trying to sell the garment, you got to be all look at me. Well, I didn't really know how to do look at me. Roxy goes down the what you call it first. And so I'm watching how she does look at me. And so I'm like, okay, bet. I'm gonna mock Roxy. Like I'm gonna do it like Roxy. And so, she does her thing and then she comes in, and when it's my turn, I rock it like Roxy. Well, then I have to go and change into my next piece. And now I'm gonna be walking with this guy. And it's a lace top with like little boy shorts. And I think there was like garter and stockings and heels. And so I could walk in heels and that wasn't a problem. I could, I knew the garter setup or whatever. But because I had to do it so fast, I put the boy shorts on backwards. So here I am trying to work the runway, in a pair of in lingerie where the top was on proper, but I had the booty part in the front. And so I just looked crazy as shit. At the end of the lingerie show, they bring out the fashion designer, and she was all kinds of cool. And, we're in Corpus Christi. And I decided at that point, number one, I ain't never modeling again. And number two, I ain't never going back to Roxy's shop, because that was kind of the hub of the community. And that's where everybody was going to come and ask, okay, just in case somebody asked for some other craziness. And then I get pulled into it because I didn't yet know how to say no. I just decided, okay, I'm done. I'm done with the adventurous life as far as that goes. One of the adventures, though, that I have not had the privilege of having is the adventure of motherhood. Mothers are so critical to, number one, the sustaining of life, the creation of life. Because if mama shuts it down, like it's a wrap. If mama said, I don't want to be a mom, like, okay, it's a wrap. But when mama say, okay, yes, I want to co-sign on this experience, it is so important. It is so beautiful. And it is one of the things that I was not courageous enough to do. But I am grateful for the story that you are about to hear, and particularly the storyteller, and particularly the fact that she gets to come in this space where the grown folks talk and tell it like it TI is. Fam, I need for you to make room and to accept and embrace Shawna Meade as she comes to us with part two of, I call it part two of the story that she shared with us before. But however it is that she frames it, she is going to show enough tell it, and it is going to be an amazing ride. So buckle up and please welcome Miss Shawna Meade as she dresses her truth in story.
Good evening. Oh my gosh, Lex. So thank you, first of all. I do want to say, if somebody ever starts singing the song Shake Them Titties to me, either I'm going to spit bust out laughing first, or I'm going to be like, I can't take this whole process seriously. I just can't. So thank you for sharing your truth. I appreciate that. And I want to thank you for allowing me the platform to share my truth. I met Lex. It's been some years now. I feel like we're friends. And and through one of her workshops, she allowed me the platform to share my story. This is when we were getting with people, y'all, and we was touching and hugging and loving on each other. Not no more, but I had that opportunity then. And so from that story, y'all, that story was titled My 5 Attempts at Love. And from this story, I shared basically, as I like to put it, how all 5 of my goddamn kids came into play. You know, all five of them, y'all have five. I mean, some, DNA, they're different, but that's okay. I mean, hey, I'm grown to do whatever I want to do. But, so this story, I like the way Alex put it. It's kind of like it's the part two of about being a mother and being a mother of five kids. So, I'm going to just jump right into it. So, y'all, I have five, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Four of them, they came out my body, yeah, it spit them all out, drugs, no drugs, whatever I felt like at the moment, as they kept coming, I was like, let's try this one with nothing. Let's see how this goes, So, and then my fifth baby, he's my bonus baby, and he came about, on my fifth attempt at love. Amen. And so they range in the ages from my oldest baby, she's 24, and my youngest baby, she's 9. And then, we got the rest of them, in between. So, y'all, I don't know if you know it, but motherhood, it's a doozy. It can be challenging. It can be rewarding. It can get on your goddamn nerves. And my hat really goes off to all the mothers out there. My hat goes out to y'all. Now, I'm not negating the daddies. I am not. If you're a daddy listening, you're great too, but it's not about you. The story's not about you. I just want to take some time to just talk to the mamas. Mama's Day is coming up. Let's point you out and your success, if you will. So, y'all, I know as a mother, you may be that mother that's out there. I mean, hey, you, from listening to my story, you may go, damn, I thought my shit was bad. That might be you. Or you may be that mother out there, that from listening to my story, you may go, I still top hers. My shit is crazy. Or you may be that mother that, you just out there killing the game. You on top of it. You the mom.com bomb. You just, and you writing books and books we not reading because we don't believe you. You may be that mom out there. But, wherever you are in your motherhood of life, there may be some nuggets that you can take away from this, add, subtract, do as you will. Because as mothers, we need to make sure that we stay in a strong support system. So yeah, I'm gonna jump right into it. So I'll start at my oldest baby. And I call them all my babies. It don't matter what the age is. It really doesn't matter because they still babies sometimes. They still want to lay in your lap and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's okay. I welcome it. So my oldest baby, she's 24. Nah, she, y'all, you try not to say they broke the mold, but I mean, damn, the mold is gone on this one. She is top of the game in academics. The old folks say you need to make sure you be about your books and your lessons. Y'all, she 100%. She's always been about her books and her lessons. Just made a decision on med school, y'all. Med school is paid for 100%. I mean, this chick here, she changing the game. I mean, I feel like she know a little something about everything. Sometimes I ask her. She's like my Google. I mean, she's my reference, if you will. So she, all my other kids like, don't compare me to her. She like that way, y'all. Sometimes it's like, how can you not? I'm trying not to. I try not to. I really not, because everybody is different in their own right. But you know, sometimes it's a little tough because she's way up there, y'all, and I'm thankful for Dr. So and so, because that's who she's gonna be. She's gonna be a Dr. So and so. Now, right under Dr. So and so, y'all, we're gonna call this one my high schooler. This is my girl high schooler. You know, I have 5, y'all, so there's more to come. My girl high schooler, I call her my social butterfly. Not about the books or the lessons. No. She's gonna have herself a good time no matter what. She's out here, she's living her best life. At 16, she's enjoying life to the fullest. And you know, I would love for her to raise her aspirations a little bit more, but you know, hey, you know, I'm a supportive mom. So when she sends me that text with the confetti emoji flying in the air saying, "Mom, guess what? I'm not failing this semester." You know, it's like, is she celebrating this? I mean, you know, passing, and I don't mean, you know, sometimes we think of passing as a C, but no, let's drop it down one. So as she's throwing that confetti, I want her to sometimes just raise her level of involvement with her academics to the same height of that goddamn confetti that she's sending me in her celebration. So my social butterfly, y'all, as a mom, you know, I'm there. I'll celebrate her. Yay, you on the non-fail almost. And then under my social butterfly, you know, I have my boys. You know, which I'm thankful for my boys, because the love that you receive from boys as a mom, you know, moms, you know, out there, your boys, they love you. They love you. Now my biological boy, one that came out my body, you know, he's headed into high school, y'all. Now he too, great on the academics. He just doesn't give a shit about life. You know, he doesn't, and I would love for him to give at least like 2 shits. I 1, 2 about a lot of things, but he doesn't. And so I'm trying to be understanding of that. You know, he's my gamer. He's in there. He's playing the video games. He's hollering and screaming. And you know, I know there's a future in that. I don't know if he cares enough to gain a future from it, but you know, we're gonna keep hoping for that with him as he moves on, you know, through his high school journey, if you will. And then there is my bonus baby, y'all. So my bonus baby, you know, he's also a teenager, and I'm gonna put it like this. So when my bonus baby comes over, you know, a lot of times the rest of these damn kids in the house, they don't even know he present. They don't know. Okay, so he'll come over. And you know, my boys, they share a room, y'all. I'm not a millionaire. I don't make a lot of money, you know. So as we became blended, you know, somebody got to blend a room. So they're together in the room. When my bonus baby comes over, he goes into the room. It's almost like the room is a cave, y'all. It's like he goes in, and then it goes down the steps into the cave, and then we don't hear from him no more. We don't know. You know, he'll come out, he'll emerge from the cave. He'll go out and he'll play basketball, and then you know, when he comes out, everybody's all, oh hey, oh hey, oh hey. What? Yeah. Oh, we didn't know he was here. Yo, it's Sunday. He been here since like Thursday or Friday. I mean, you know, he's quiet. I mean, with all the noise of being a mom of 5 and everybody in the goddamn house at one time, I can appreciate that because there's noisy in the house. He's one of the quiet ones, but I mean, God, dog. So yeah, y'all, when he will emerge from the cave, it's almost like you feel like the door just creaks open, like in a scary movie, like boom. Here comes my bonus baby. He comes out, everybody with the surprise, hey, and then he go back in, door, boom. They back in the room together. They done sealed the funk into the room. It's just closed off. Would I like for him to come out, emerge more, conversate with us a little bit more? I would, but some people just like their space. And if you're used to just having your own time to yourself, I as a mother need to be supportive, and I need to be understanding, and I just need to take in the fact that this is who he is. He's gonna be that boy that just eats up a hefty amount of shit. He plays basketball. He sometimes, his balancing skills may not be all that great because he's very tall, like, my last attempt at love. And, so, there's great things about him. I just would like for him to, have, I want us to know I want to know he here. I would like everybody to know that he here. We all get along. Let's just talk more. So y'all, there are times when I just kind of appear, into the cave. I'll go in there. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever smelled boys. But something is not right. And for them both to be in that cave at the same time and living in that level of funk. I mean, I go in there and, the smell is like a cross between, let's see, open booty and dinosaur vomit. I mean, I don't, I don't know what dinosaur vomit smells like. I mean, but if you trying to just get some type of idea of what a closed cave of two boys, my bonus baby, my son, I just, that's what it is. That's what it is. So, you go in and it just kind of, instead of you being able to like brace yourself and take in a deep breath, you just walk in and it's a, hey, y'all. I brought you some towels and out the cave. I must go. I know. And so, my bonus baby, I don't know. They had a trash bag in there. I don't know because of the amount of food that he can consume. And, also my gamer, I don't know if it's old food in there. I don't know, brisket and dried up. I don't know what it is, but there's no level of Febreze that can take that smell away. So then that's my bonus baby, y'all. And then there's one more that's under them. And we call her baby, because she's the baby of the family. She's spoiled as all get out. All my kids say I let her get away with whatever she wants. I give her whatever she wants. I mean, well, shit, I'm tired. I mean, fuck, I'm tired. So yes, I do. I mean, whatever. Now, y'all, my baby. So she, as the kids say, she thick-witted. She big boned. Yeah, she baby, y'all, she enjoys food like I've never seen this in my entire life. So y'all, I'm gonna go back a little bit. So when baby was born, y'all, there was, maybe one or two, maybe 4, 5, 6 red flags when it came to the food consumption. Okay. I was nursing more than I had ever before. Every time she cried, I cringed. And please don't judge me, but I did. Because I knew, here she goes. I latch on, she want to eat. She just ate 2 minutes ago. But this is the only way I can stop her from that wailing that she did all the damn time. So, baby, I felt like, okay, I got to do something else because she's sucking my boobs dry. I mean, it was up all the damn time. My boobs hurt. They were hanging down to my thighs. And I'm like, this is not the business. This is not the way to go. So, baby, y'all, I was like, okay, so baby, I'm gonna have to start off on baby food early. I am. I'm gonna have to start. I know, the pediatrician, they'll tell you to do certain things. You did that, this was I didn't have plenty of kids. I kind of figure who gonna make it, who gonna be all right. And I felt like she's gonna be fine. I don't need to worry about this. So I tried the baby food and I tried it early. And I'm not going to tell you the age because you would probably report me because it was wrong. I mean, it was wrong. I know it was wrong. But she didn't like the baby food. I just knew this was going to be a win-win. My boobs can recover. I don't have to be mad at her about feeding her. That's not right as a mom. So I was like, okay, well, let's go. Let's go with this baby food. No, baby, say no to the baby food, y'all. Back to the sucking me dry she goes. I couldn't handle it. I was like, I'm gonna have to introduce her to table food. Now there's all kind of faux pas out there about that. I don't care because I'm the mama. I'm her mama, not her pediatrician. And y'all. On one night, it was our regular little helping of table food. I gave it to baby. And she gobbled it. She gobbled it all up. Now, mind you, I put it in a blender. I can't tell you the months because it was wrong. It was illegal. And the chicken, the rice and gravy, and the green beans, you could swore it was her favorite. I mean, she had nothing else compared to that, but it was her favorite. And I was like, okay. So from that day forward, baby was on table food at a very extreme young infant. So as she became older, y'all, she just loved food even more. I mean, I know we get happy, we get excited about food, but baby, when food would come her way, she dancing and singing and celebrating. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at my baby. Yo, it just, who celebrates Taco Bell? I mean, it was like, oh, mama, have you put the sauce on your tacos before? Oh my God, it is so good. Oh, this Taco Bell is amazing. Mom, I'm all, yes, baby. Mama has had the fire sauce on her tacos before, and it is good. Oh, mama. Oh, we could be eating breakfast. Mama, what we having for lunch? I don't know, baby, because I'm not even finished cooking breakfast. Oh, I can't wait for lunch. Can we have? Oh, mama, on the Popeyes, if you put your dirty rice on top of your chicken and take a bite out of it, oh my God. Oh, it's so good. It's so good, mama. So y'all, I knew there were some concerns from the jump, and I'm trying, we started walking, we started moving our bodies more. We up and moving. I do watch her sneak her food into a room. I'm pulling stuff from under her bed. I'm all, baby, I see you running with the honey bun down by your side. It's behind your back. I don't live in a mansion, y'all. She just ran right past me on the couch. I'm trying. I'm trying, and I want to be supportive. You don't want to crush their spirits. You want them to be happy. I just think we're gonna have to scale it down. We're gonna have to scale it down because she's 9, y'all. And we're getting ready to bypass out of the, the youth sizes. And women's clothes cost more. So, I just, pray for us and our food consumption. Or her food consumption. And so, y'all, with all the children, that I have, I just want to send you with a few takeaways as a mother. And, this story, I titled it An Ode to Mothers. As a mother, there are things that we have to do in order to maintain our sanity. One, lock your damn door. You got to take a break for yourself. Because or else they gonna come beating on you though. It don't matter if you shitting on the toilet. It don't matter. Some one of mine will come and sit on the floor with me. They don't care. You may need to drink some wine or beer or something. I don't know, whatever it is you're into. Kind of relax yourself a little bit. You I don't know, if you into cussing out your damn kids, you may have to cuss out one or two, just to get by. Pension. Some of you may not be into that either. But just know at the end of the day, there's no true book to this. And for the book writers out there, I don't believe them. I don't know. There may be a book writer out there that has written a book to get us through and navigate us through these motherhood waters. But so far, I just know that it's all about life experience, just your damn self. It's really about trial and error. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, that pep talk didn't work. Let me try another one. Okay, I mean, you just kind of go through and just scratch off what you tried, what works, what works for one may not work for the other. They're not all the same, but we got to remember that we're responsible for them. We're responsible for the type of adult that they turn out to be. And you don't want that shit on your shoulders where you got just a nutcase on your hands. You want to be able, and even if you do end up with that on your hands, you still got to be the nurturer and the lover and the supporter to help bring them through whatever their situation may be. You are that responsible party, no matter what their age may be. So I just want you, mothers, as we get ready to celebrate Mother's Day, I pray that you get something. If you don't get nothing, screw them. This is the day, not only on that day, but on many of the other days in life, you just got to take a moment for yourself. Give yourself a high five. Pat yourself on the back. Play some music. Do a dance. Whatever it is you need to do. Because mothers, as my ode to the mothers out there, I celebrate you. And damn it, I'm going to celebrate me too. Thank
you. Yes! Oh my God. All of that, Shawna. I was like cracking up, and I'm so grateful for the virtual studio and how I can be back here like just acting a fool. Over everything that you're saying. Sometimes I be wanting to like post in the virtual pews in the chat, but I realize that there's a delay. So like what I'm hearing, they're not, they're not necessarily like it's a delay. So they're like, where'd that come? How did I miss that comment? And then then it ends up saying, so it's like, wow, Shawna, I so love it. What was interesting was when you open, you were like, okay, like the mothers who were like, oh, well, her experience, is bad. It's worse than mine, or her experience ain't as bad as mine. Or I'm an expert at this. And so but you're like, look, I don't even trust y'all to talk about y'all experts and y'all write books about it. Ain't nobody reading them damn books. Like, well, circle back though. And you said that, you just got to go through and scratch off what works and what don't work. And not everything is going to work for the same child. You know, it's not going to work the same way. And I love the way that you were just like, listen, you know, celebrate yourself. This is hard work. It's important work. This is an assignment that you cannot fail. We cannot fail at this assignment.
Right.
But ain't no manual at how to succeed.
Lord knows it's not.
Literally one of those things. It was like, I can't fail at it, but I don't know what to do. So, okay, look, I'm going to start
Right.
acting out. Oh my God. Okay, let's go here to some of the comments in the virtual pews. Hey, Tenila. Tenny said that she said Shawna's descriptions are amazing. Now I wonder how my mom would describe her 3 children. I wondered the same thing, Tenny Lanimi. I wonder how my mother would describe my brother and me if she had to, you know, if they give her the mic and they say, you know, go and do this. Now, granted, she's going to tell stories, and she's going to tell stories pretty much about how Michael was easy and how I was high maintenance. You know, still, hey, mama, how you doing? I know you're in the virtual pews. But I thought that exact same thing, Tenny, when I read that. I was like, I wonder how my mama, you know, would describe us if she had the, you know, if somebody asked her the same thing. And then when you were talking about like what the room smells like, Jerty says a pack of goats.
That's horrible.
Cindy said, I raised a son and I know that level of funk. Like, And then Cindy was like, thank you, Sean. It was the facial expressions for me. I know. Cindy, she was just so cool with it. She was like, you know, now I would tell y'all how old I was, but I'm sure it was illegal and I don't want nobody to report me.
I just can't.
But everyone, all the mothers, they're definitely co-signing on celebrate. Yes, yes. Celebrate yourself, sister. That's right. Bravo, sister. You did it again. Oh, okay. You got fans. You got fans in the chat room. Yeah, you know, I think that it is so important for us to celebrate mothers. And I love how you like fathers. This is not a knock against you. Your work is important too. But it does feel like a disproportionate, and I say disproportionate, maybe it's only disproportionate in terms of like their early years. Do you feel like a lot of that falls on, do you feel like it falls on mothers disproportionately, even when mom and dad are there?
I think so. I think because, you know, kids, it's just innate to just kind of lean in to mom more, you know, because there'll be a situation where everybody is running to me and I'm like, there's another adult in this house that can help you. X, you know? So I think, yes, that they just feel like mama is a superhero. She's going to solve the problems at all times.
Mama is a superheroine is what I call her. And you are absolutely right. There are some amazing things that mothers do. So, you know, y'all come by it honestly. So for people, you know, for the children to trust in you, it's like, you know, it's a compliment.
I'm gonna remember that. The next time I'm rolling my eyes, I'm gonna remember that. This is a compliment.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, Shawna, thank you so much once again for just sharing your truth as it is dressed in hilarious story. I told you, sis, like we love you here in this space. Hold on, there was Cindy. She just posted something real quick before I let you go. She goes, my son used to say, oh, I can ask my daddy.
Right. Like it wasn't even an option.
Gotta love the babies. Gotta love the babies. Thank you for coming and for just for breaking it down for us. Just like I'm hearing grace. Just grace for yourself, celebrate yourself, all of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thank you, Shawna. Okay, I'm gonna put you behind stage. I told y'all I love her. Absolutely love Shawna from the first time I met her. And actually, she attended the first not the first workshop. Well, she did attend the first workshop in Houston. But I met her when I produced my first live adult storytelling events in Houston. I was partnering with Crumville, Texas Bakery, a very popular and awesome bakery in 3rd Ward, Houston, Texas. And the owner was celebrating her 1-year anniversary in her storefront. And so I was like, yo, like I want to do like, you know, storytelling, like adult storytelling is what I always tell people. Like, listen, don't be having them, you know, folks bring their kids and have them sit on the floor. with their legs crisscross applesauce like that. That is not what I'm, that would not be my intended audience. And so Shawna was there, and she absolutely loved, everything that she did. She signed up for the workshops, and then her story was so powerful that I was like, okay, Shawna, like you're being featured in the next, like within 3 months, like you're going to be on stage. And sure enough, she was. And she told the first story that you heard last season for Jesus, Jazz, and Dessert Wine. So she is one of my faves, and I am so grateful to be able to have her here. Now, before we shut down our time here today, there are 4 things that we do at Jesus, Jazz, and Dessert Wine. The first is we offer a public lament. So I talked with you earlier about how this has been such an interesting week, and how I believe that history is prophecy, and we need to be leaning in and doing some stuff. But I think also by looking at the ways that people have moved throughout history, that also gives us a way how we need to be moving. What does not serve us is silence. We cannot be silent. What also does not all the time serve us is stillness. We cannot be still and just sitting there letting some stuff happen, acting as if we have no power to make moves and to change and to affect change for the good of all. And this week, I saw a lot of folks who rose up. I saw justice being enacted, but I saw just kind of the quote common folk standing up and saying, okay, what you're not going to do is make me be quiet and make me sit down. And all of this came out of an article about this company called Basecamp. Now, I only know Basecamp because one of my contracts, for one of my contracts, I was working on a project. We used Basecamp to manage the project. And so everything that happened, all of the correspondence, any to-dos, everything was listed in Basecamp. And so it was a very popular software, and the 2 CEOs and founders of it, they're rich young guys, and they align themselves with progressive causes, and they're making donations, and their people are happy, and they are playful, and they're all living their best lives. Well, this week a series of things were unearthed. One of them is that apparently back in their earlier days, when they would get stressed out about a customer or a situation, they would then create this, they created this list. And on this list, they put a bunch of what were supposed to be funny names, things like Seymour Butts. Okay, but it was just kind of their way of, being, just like it's juvenile humor, basically is what it was. But then it didn't take long before some of those names became racist, sexist, homophobic, problematic. But they were still listing it because they're mostly a white male company, and they're like this is just kind of us, and yeah, we believe in liberal causes, and we want inclusion and diversity. But this is where we are. So as they began to incorporate more diverse frames of understanding, more diverse people, bringing them onto the company, they're starting to see how problematic they have been, because these new folks are coming on and saying, hey, this bullshit right here is problematic. Like, we need to do something. But the cool thing is that initially, anyway, they thought that they could just say, hey, this is what we want to do. This is what we need to do. And then the founders, and they would give them permission and say, yes, we want to be on the right side of history, was like what they did, the lip service. So apparently this week, some things came to a head. And when you feel like you have license to speak, you tend to speak up. But apparently there was a very contentious meeting in which one of the employees was speaking up. They were speaking up on the issue of diversity and inclusion. They were giving specific examples. And the founder just got mad and said, look, just shut up and sit down with all of that. Number one, you don't ever tell an adult to sit down and shut up. And number two, you don't ever tell an adult to sit down and shut up while at work. Like, that's all kinds of, like, you are asking for all kinds of EEOC problems. But what happened instead was this employee went to the HR department. HR manager decided to not take action. So the employee is sitting there stewing. But by the grace of God, the employee was not stewing alone. Everyone who was in that meeting was sitting there on the route, like was sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck did we just see? Like, what is this that's happening? And so now they're ready to engage in, it's not progressive discipline. It's kind of using tactics, a conflict resolution. So there are all of these books. Shawna was talking about how don't be reading them damn books. They don't be knowing what they're talking about. Well, apparently this particular group is reading books on conflict resolution in the workplace, and they are working the model. They're working the strategies. And instead of being, humble, the founder, who was the first one, like who was the one who made this jacked up comment in this employee meeting or to this employee, the founder then puts together a new policy. The new policy says this: the only conversation you can have at work is about your job. No other conversations are permitted in the workplace. And so everybody was like completely taken off, like, I know this motherfucker is not like silencing us. Like, is that what we doing? Is that what we doing? And then he doubles down on it, puts it in writing, seals it, post it like on the social media channels to let everybody know we are a company that will not have these conversations about anything other than work. That's the kind of organization we are. And on April 27, about close to half of their workforce resigned in protest. And this is what they did. They all posted their resignation, and like that was their last day. Like there was no, let me give you a 2-week notice instantly. They all said, today is my last day with Basecamp. I have worked as a project manager because I choose not to support the current direction and a new policy that was implemented. I have tendered my resignation effective immediately, and now I am looking for a job. Feel free to DM me. Every one of these tweets, every one of these employees posted that same format. As effective today, I've tendered my resignation. This is the job that I held. This is what I'm going to do in the meantime. But I'm also looking for contracts and looking for employment opportunity. DM me, DM me, DM me. It was so powerful. I was like, now that's what I'm talking about. Here is my lament. Why is it that more of us don't do that? Why are we so afraid to stand up for the right thing when clearly there is a right thing? Sometimes you can be like, oh, it's nebulous. I don't know which way to go. And then there are other times that you see some stuff and you say, now this is unacceptable. And I will not stand in this space. I lament that there are not more and more stories of what happened this week with Basecamp. I lament that. But here's my prophetic hope. My prophetic hope is that more people are about to stand up and do what was done. Not because there are so many employment opportunities that are on the, that are out there. They're going to do it because they are going to know that it is important for you to always align yourself with faithfulness and justice in every space, because that is where the longevity is. The longevity is never about you looking out for me and mine. The longevity is never about you accepting what you know is wrong, but saying, okay, look, my bills are paid, and so let me just kind of quietly go and sit in the corner and and only have the conversations that the CEO or the founder is saying that we should have. I have prophetic hope that there are more and more folks that are about to show up. But here's my other prophetic hope. We've been talking a lot, like for the past couple of weeks, about the temptation narrative of Jesus. And I love that in verse 4:11, it's the last part of the scripture, verse 11. The devil went away, and then it says, and then the angels came and took care of Jesus. My prophetic hope is for all of the folks who said, I am leaving this situation, but here's what I'm open to. DM me. I believe that the angels have been lining up and have been submitting to their DMs, and that they are going to experience the absolute best. There's a securer spot. There is a more joyful spot. They definitely have this talent, this innovation, and they are decent folk. They are going to be partnered with the right folks. That is my prophetic hope, and it is done. The angels will come and take care of them. Ashe, and so be it. Now, here's my energizing memory. We were talking about motherhood. This is one of my favorite childhood memories. That is my brother Michael and me on Galveston Island. And we are with my mother and one of her friends from work who was a professional photographer. So whereas most of our pictures are of me and Michael like cheesing or like posing in front of the camera or whatever, I love this picture of us on the beach. It's in the fall time, you know, so like there's not a lot of activity, but there are a ton of seashells. I celebrate my mother for creating moments and experiences like this, where it's not about how much money you have. It's not about even, you know, studying or looking in your books or, you know, like homework. It's not about any of that. It is literally about, we live 45 minutes from the coast and there are a ton of seashells. Michael and I were having the absolute best time, and I am grateful for this particular picture that was captured to memorialize that situation. Mamas are bad women, like y'all are doing amazing things, and thank you so much for the memory. The last thing that we do at Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine is we talk about giving, and I'm going to stick with give what you have. When I was reading the tweets from the base camp employees, my prayer is that the angels will step up and will give them contracts and leads and new jobs and you know, ask like, hey, like, let me, you know, what's your cash app? Let me tighten you up a little bit, because they left immediately. There was no 2-week notice. Like that day, they were done with that organization. And I celebrate and I trust that the angels are showing up. And I pray that in whatever way you are surrounded by people who are doing gutsy, amazing, courageous things, that you would step in as their angel. You don't have to ever apologize for what you don't have. Ain't nobody, and should nobody be asking you to give what you don't have. The standard is to give what you do have. And I pray that when you give it, that it's going to be multiplied, and it's going to be returned to you, that you are indeed depositing seed, and it's going to be an incredible harvest. And what comes back to you is the absolute thing that you want to receive. It's going to be good. Ashe? All right. So with that, before we end our time, before we do our blessing, next week, I want to promote this person right here. That is Miss Karina Bland. She is a features reporter for the Arizona Republic. She is one of my favorite folks on the planet because she absolutely, positively keeps it real. The story that she's going to share next week is one that I heard in a coaching workshop, and the folks that were in there, I was the only Black person. Everyone else was white. We were having very different experiences with that story. And all I have ever been able to think is, I can't wait till I have my own platform, because I promise you I'm going to feature that story. And next week is that story. It is the second part of our homage to paying ode to motherhood. And she's coming from a very, very different perspective. And I told her that Jesus Jazz and Dessert Wine, the folks that are in our virtual pews, we can handle this content. I don't want to give it away. I just want you to show up next week, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, 4:30 Central Standard Time, for her story. It is powerful, and I think you're going to love it. Now, with that, our blessing and our sending. Oh, there we go. Love is not an option. Love is a command. I pray that the command to love leads you, leads me, leads us towards creative solutions. I pray that in whatever space you inhabit, the important work that you are responsible for doing, in which you cannot fail, but they have not given you a manual for how to do it. Grace for yourself. Try some stuff. Scratch off what works, underline, highlight what does, and let's keep it moving. But let's be good to ourselves and let's be good to others. Let's be good to others. Ashe, Selah, so be it. I'll see you next week. God's best to you.
My funny Valentine, sweet Comet Valentine.